Sorry. What the fuck is a top? What the fuck is a top gooner, bro? I keep hearing like people messaging me. What's that? Someone
is
like
somebody that just sucks off everything about the club and turns everything into a positive without using realism. Yeah,
say it again.
Based off. A top gooner is somebody that just sucks off everything about this club and always spins a negative into a positive. Yeah, just to get hopium, like you just said a minute ago. I'm hoping more than anything. Yeah, rather than actually calling out the deficiencies of this football club, bro. You were the same guy that threw your season ticket away on a fan cam and said, "I'm done with this football club." Yeah, this manager is factually worse in his first 5-6 years than the manager you threw that season ticket away for.
Yeah, but
and then
I'm a top gooner because I did that, bro. I've been at protesters, bro. I've sat against Arteta many times. You can find clips.
No, I know that, but you can find your season ticket in the bin
clips.
and threw it out of the ballpark, out the ground.
As a protest.
Then went and got it back. Yeah, then went and got it back. Yeah, we've all been at protests for Wenger out. Kenny was there. I was there. Me and Kenny were there together.
Let me. Yeah, Stricto. Don't let
Hold on. I just want to understand. So you're saying what? I dashed my season. Go on. Let me hear what you're saying. Lee.
You dashed your season ticket.
These guys.
Hold on, you go. Go on.
You dashed your season ticket, and then you were going games again.
Go on, Lee. Yeah.
So what was the point in dashing the season ticket? Because if you felt that strongly about protest, in your words, protest, cool, you'd turn your season ticket back in and say, "Fuck this club, I'm done with it." But now your answer a B. But somebody else to get my ticket. Cool, but you done your bit.
No, hold on a second. But you know how the season ticket thing works, though, right?
Yeah, I know how it works. You ain't getting it back for years.
Right.
And but now, if you're so protesting,
hold on.
You've done your bit and gave it back in.
No. You're saying what you're saying is right. I protested for my season ticket. And how does that work? What I'm saying is, you know how the season, you've already paid for the season ticket. I already paid for my season ticket.
Yeah.
Immediately after I dashed my season ticket, I think a week or so after that, what happened? Emery gone. Now I'm not saying that was because I dashed my season ticket, but that did get a lot of numbers. That did get a lot of traction.
And that's what it's about.
Hold on a sec. I got Sky Sports hitting me up saying, "Oh, we've seen your ticket. Do you reckon you could do an interview because we believe, the club don't want fans to turn in their season tickets X, Y, and Z." Like, bro, I did my bit. All of this stuff that you lot are trying to spin, I don't really understand.
No, but you asked me a direct question. I'll give you a direct answer. You threw your season ticket because you were protesting against Unai, yeah?
Right. The club.
So why didn't you trust the process?
The club.
Okay, so Unai Emery, at that point when you dashed your ticket, I can't remember what game it was.
Southampton.
What part of the season was that?
I can't remember what part of the season. We drew 2-2 Southampton at home. Bottom of the table, Southampton.
Okay, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So you dashed your season ticket. At the end of that season, we got to a Europa League final. Yeah, and we finished literally 1 point off fourth and 2 off third. Yeah. So in what way, shape, or form are you 6 years deep with this manager in December? It's 6 years. Yeah. And you're still going, well, I'm not really sure. Maybe this and maybe that. Bro, why didn't you give Unai all this time? Because he came in after Arsene Wenger, who was here for 20 odd years, has a statue outside the ground, won everything.
Because I saw Arteta win a cup with Unai's team.
It wasn't Unai's team.
Hold on a second. Unai took us to Europa final, got us embarrassed with practically the same team that Arteta used to win the cup.
Fantastic.
Against the same Chelsea team that we'd lost to.
Okay, fantastic. So was you not embarrassed when we lost 3-0 to Dean Smith's Aston Villa at home? First time since 1928. What about Jamie Vardy 1-0 at home to Leicester?
No.
What about when we lost to Burnley? Chris Wood,
I was more embarrassed. I was more embarrassed than getting slapped 4-0 in a final. That was literally.
I hear that. But at least he got to a final. This guy got to one final. Hold on 1 second.
Hold on, Lee. 1 second. Before I forget my point. Just before I forget my point. You said at least he got to a final. Going to a final is not a trophy.
No, it ain't.
Neither is taking your team second is not a trophy.
Right.
However, what I'm seeing at times, the level of football and the level of credibility he's built up, even for us finishing second, is different to what Unai Emery would have achieved. Unai Emery's come to the Premier League. What has he achieved in the Premier League? He's currently in the Premier League. What has he achieved in the Premier League?
So let me answer that, yeah? Well, you're talking about 6 years nearly of Arteta. Yeah, why didn't you take 1 year of Arteta or 18 months, 15 months or whatever and compare that to the 15, 18 months of Unai? Because in the 15, 18 months of Unai, yeah, compared to Arteta, yes, Arteta won the FA Cup. Whose team was it?
Unai's.
Thank you. So it don't take time then.
No, but Unai...
And he left us a mess and you protested to throw your ticket away. Hold on, let me land. Let me land, Stricto, let me land, bro.
Go on.
Right? You threw your season ticket over your shoulder in the crowd, gone, yeah, because you didn't like Unai's football. Yeah, you didn't like how the club was and the protest was against the club, the ownership and everything, the whole thing, yeah? I get that, right? Because we were doing the same. However, when this man comes in, he's inherited, yeah, Unai's part squad and Wenger's part squad. But you gave up on Unai inside what, December, yeah, what? So that was what, 15 months or whatever it was that he'd been at the club at that point, yeah? Right? 13, 14, 15 months, whatever it may be, yeah? 16 months, right? Now, Arteta comes in, wins an FA Cup, cool, fantastic. But you gave up on that guy, yeah, who got us to a European final for the first time in God knows how long, right? Not only that, was millimeters away from fourth, and he put all of his eggs into that European basket because the trophy's better than finishing third loser, right? Then Arteta comes in with the same players that you were dashing your ticket away for, yeah? This manager then gets us over the line, yeah? He then sells every single one of them, spends £1 billion, and you're still making excuses for this guy, and he's won nothing.
But the difference is, Lee, I haven't always supported Arteta.
No, because that's my point.
No, I haven't always supported Arteta. This is where the difference is. I haven't always. If anybody who watches content with me on there ever seen will know I've not always supported Arteta. Even after he won the FA Cup, there was you just type in Arteta out Stricto, you will see get this guy out, get him out tonight. Things of that nature.
So it's about your match day experience and how you feel on match day then, because now we're in a title challenge.
No, but what I don't understand is how you lot are quick to mention Unai took us to a cup final, but then would dismiss.
Unai never got given £1 billion, bro, 6 years.
But would dismiss taking us to second. Which one is it? Are you happy with the almost, or you're against the almost? Because you are using.
No. And I'm going to shut up after I land this point and let the rest of the guys go, yeah, because I've been talking for too long. Right? My point is, if this football club, yeah, had given Arteta the job after Wenger, he wouldn't have lasted, mate. Same as Unai. We could have got Ancelotti and they would have got him sacked. Yeah. I remember when we played Frankfurt, fans in the clock end, now it's the Ashburton Army in the clock end, they were all jumping up and down when Frankfurt fucking scored against us. Yeah. Let's not take the piss here. They were jumping up there. Yeah, Frankfurt has scored. We're getting him sacked. Why weren't you trusting that process? What I don't get in my head, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Wenger left. He stayed too long. Cool. Unai comes in, barely gets any players. Yeah. The players he was getting, yeah, everyone slags off Pepe and Denis Suarez and all these other players, Lichtsteiners and Socrates and all this. Yeah. Cool. Fantastic. We could do the same rap sheet for this manager because we've got a longer window. However, let's look at the first 18 months of this manager. He took us to our lowest league finish. When Unai got sacked, we were 8th. We were joint 6th and 8 points off 4th, which is the aim of this football club, and it always has been under this ownership. Right? We sacked him with 25 games to go. How do we not know if we'd backed that guy better when he's won trophies, multiple trophies, before Arsenal and after Arsenal, by the way? Yeah. Oh, it's easy to win at PSG. Cool. Well, how did Lille win the league then?
I'm confused. Like, what
no, hold on. I was Emery out, and soon as the stream's still there, bro. The stream's still there. You can't chat to me. The stream's still there. As soon as he got linked with this job, Arteta, I said, bring Unai back. Yeah, I'd take Wenger back now. Yeah, and I wanted both of them out. However, my point, and I'm going to land and shut up. My point is, how have you made a different decision after the first 18 months of Arteta in comparison to the only 18 months of Unai Emery, who came in to a fucking mess. That's what I don't understand.
It just wasn't good enough for me. Just wasn't good enough for me. Just wasn't good enough for me. Aesthetically, I weren't pleased with it. I didn't like it. The same with Arteta. I didn't like it. The only difference is Arteta got a little more time, and I started to see what he was doing. That's the only difference. You know, you're not gonna get that out of me that I supported Arteta from day one up until now. No, that's not the truth. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not the truth.
I actually agree with that.
But Arteta had time. Arteta's
the simple difference is Unai
Dan, go on, Dan. What you
lost the
saying?
respect.
Hold on, Iga. Hold on, Dan. What you saying?
Yeah, no, I was agreeing with you. I've known you a long time. I remember when we were both Arteta out together, bro. I remember that. And obviously you changed. I've stayed by the same kind of thing for a long time now, since COVID, believe it or not. I can't even believe it's that long that I don't think this guy will win us a title. And a lot of people disagree with me and think I've been too harsh. But
equally, Dan, we've spoken, and I said to you, if nothing comes out of this season, then he's, you know, that conversation of him got to go. I'll have that conversation. I've said that. I don't know what anyone else's position is. Whatever you call top good, I don't know what their position is. I know mine. I stand on mine. Whether or not people like it or they don't like it, that's their business. I stand on my own business.
Can I say this? I'm sick and tired of this conversation. Do we need to have every single stream a conversation about Mikel Arteta? Can we not talk about the actual football, the actual issues at hand? I don't think the manager every single day is an actual conversation that needs to be discussed every single stream. There can be a stream where instead of speaking about the manager, we can actually speak about maybe the play style, maybe how we're going to get Gyökeres going, different things. Because I'm just sick and tired of every single time where we're on a stream with Lee or anybody else, it comes straight back to the manager this, the manager that, Arteta this. We could do 15 hours on Arteta, but guess what? It doesn't get us anywhere because the manager's not going nowhere. He's not getting sacked today. He's not getting sacked tomorrow. It doesn't matter if everyone in the fan base doesn't like him. The difference between Unai Emery and Arteta is Arteta has the backing of the players. Arteta has the backing of everyone at the club. Unai Emery lost respect from the academy players were mocking him. It got to the point where we were scoring goals and our strikers were not even celebrating. So let's not do comparisons to things that are not comparable. And if we're going to talk about football, you want to know something, guys? We spent majority of this stream speaking about a lot of stuff completely irrelevant to what's going to help us win versus Leeds. You know something? Yes, Trossard's going to be saying, yes, we're not going to get Eze. Yes, we're going to complain about transfer windows. But what we're going to have to do is work with what we have in-house. And how are we going to do that? Are we going to complain about Arteta every single day? This is why earlier when I said, fans are super critical, it seems like people want to be so angry and always moan about Arteta and be angry about these things rather than actually speak about the glaring issues that we really have. And it's not just the manager. There's systematical things that he can tweak and improve on, but there's also players have to improve. We're looking at Martinelli. We're looking at certain guys needing to improve. And that's just something that I'd rather speak about than just sit here.
Okay, well, let's segue into that now then. Let's segue into that now, bro, right? Let's segue into that now. I'm going to bring DG in a minute. Big up to you, bro, every time. Thanks for jumping on. Let me come to DJ, Kenny, and D because, you know, they've been waiting patiently and I want to get their thoughts. I've just got two questions that really for the whole panel, and I'll put the same to all three of you and then let DG come in as well. The first question is, what do we now need to see in this transfer window to allow potentially a marquee signing to come in to give everyone a boost? That's my first question. And the second question is, how do we get this attack playing? Because I've seen nothing in the Manchester United game that with any glimmer of hope that we're going to be smashing teams and putting goals in the back of the net. Now, I hope against Leeds we see a different style when we look at it more free-flowing and we see some expression, some creativity, some flair. Ødegaard stops with his stupid scoop balls over the top that are driving me insane, and he tries to thread a ball through. Gyökeres gets more chances in the box. Saka and Martinelli improving immensely from what I saw on Sunday. I'll start with you, DJ. What are you telling me, bro? Come on.
It's pure and simple, Dan. I mean, the captain needs to step up on all levels. I mean, we see it last season, Ødegaard. You can see clearly he's not on form. Like Saturday, he was getting in positions and he was getting in the final third and he didn't know where to pass. He didn't know whether to shoot. His decision-making was poor to the point where he was then losing the ball and it was breaking down. The attack was breaking down. So we just got to get more creative. And it all comes down to the window. That's why we needed the likes of Eze and stuff like that. We needed to get more creative. Because if you look at Gyökeres where he was playing at his last club, the whole system was built around him scoring goals. You know, there was attacks going on. There was balls cutting through the lines. There was midfield players driving at defenders, opening the game up. We just play too regimental. It's too predictable. You know, and then when when it's all going through Odegaard, and Odegaard's not really the player to kind of make it happen, that's when it all breaks down. And as for the left-hand side, I mean, there's nothing coming from now. Martinelli's been out of form for ages now. He's finished. I hate to say it, but he's finished. You know, there's no creativity from Martinelli. You're not going to get nothing from the left-hand side. So now you start looking over to Saka, which is your talisman. And I mean, we keep going on about Gyökeres, but the fact of the matter is, Saka's got to chip in with more goals. Odegaard's got to chip in with more goals. We've got to get more goals from the centre of midfield. If you look at all the Chelsea titles, you know, Lampard was scoring goals for fun from midfield. Rice don't score enough goals. Is Zubimendi going to chip in with his goals? So then you look at the right-hand side, you look at Saka. Now, you mark him out the game, which teams do. Let's be honest, he's a threat. They close him down. They put 2 or 3 players on him. He can't now get free. So there's no attacking force coming from Saka. There's nothing from Odegaard. There's nothing from the left. Where is this guy going to score goals? Where is this guy going to score goals? And this is the problem we have. And I know what Igal's saying about coming back to the manager, but at the end of the day, he's the one that's got to sort it out. He's the one that's got to tactically sort the game out in game and everything else. And you look at the fullbacks as well now. Skelly, is he a left back? Really? He's not a left back. He gets caught out. He's going to get caught out. When he came in at left back, the season was sort of, you know, halfway through. Now he's playing left back from the word go, and he's going to get found out. Teams are going to find him out, and you know, it's a problem, Dan. I mean, for me, I don't really know where the attacking. So I don't think we're going to see a lot different from last season, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's going to be a slow build up. I think they're going to do low blocks. We still haven't made the right signings to overcome the low blocks, to be honest. I said we needed someone like a Rodgers, a Gibbs White, someone like that that's going to open up the game. We never went in for them sort of players. Then we said about Rodrigo on the left. That's not happened. So for me, I think Gyökeres is going to look pretty ordinary if we don't sort the attack out. And it's worrying. It's worrying that we're relying again on Saka and Odegaard as our 2 main flared players. And, you know, Odegaard needs to step up. And he's not doing it for me, Dan. He's not doing it for me.